In this sentence, the pronoun who is used to refer to a person. Given the context provided, Dr. Smith is the subject of discussion. These type of questions are called referral questions. By definition, referral question type involves identifying what a pronoun used in the text refers to. You need to analyze the context to determine the referent of the pronoun. How to identify the referent? Identifying the referent of a pronoun involves closely examining the context in which the pronoun is used. Here are some steps you can take to find the referent. Step 1. Read the sentence carefully. Pay close attention to the sentence containing the pronoun. Look for any nouns or other words that could potentially be the referent. Step 2. Look for antecedents. An antecedent is the noun that the pronoun refers to. Scan the surrounding sentences or clauses to find the antecedent of the pronoun. Step 3. Consider gender and number. If the pronoun is he, she, it, they, etc., consider the gender and number of the antecedent. This can help narrow down the possibilities. Step 4. Analyze the immediate context. Consider the subject matter or topic being discussed in the text. Sometimes, the context of the paragraph or passage can provide clues about the referent of the pronoun. Step 5. Think about logical connections. Determine which noun makes the most sense, as the referent based on the logic of the sentence, and the overall meaning of the text. Step 6. Refer to earlier mentions. Sometimes, the referent of a pronoun may have been mentioned earlier in the text. Check previous sentences or paragraphs for any potential antecedents. Step 7. Check for ambiguity. Sometimes, a pronoun may refer to more than one possible antecedent. In such cases, consider the most likely referent based on the context and logic of the text. By following these steps and carefully analyzing the context, you can effectively identify the referent of a pronoun in a given text. Now, practice these samples. The answer is option A, the patient's heart. Explanation: this is evident from the context of discussing abnormalities in the heart, such as an enlarged left ventricle, irregular electrical activity, and significant scarring. The correct answer is option B, limited availability of MRI. The phrase, such cases, refers back to the preceding sentence, which discusses the limited availability of MRI in certain regions, particularly in rural areas. This indicates that in situations where MRI is not readily accessible, CT scans are often used as an alternative. Therefore, such cases refers specifically to situations where MRI availability is limited, making option B the correct answer. Here, the pronoun that refers back to the phrase viral infections in the preceding sentence. The passage discusses the inappropriate prescription of antibiotics for viral infections, emphasizing that these infections do not respond to antibiotics. Therefore, that is used to refer specifically to viral infections, making option D the correct answer. In the passage, the pronoun it refers to the glucometer, which is the device used for measuring blood glucose levels. The preceding sentence introduces the glucometer as the tool for monitoring blood glucose levels regularly. Therefore, it refers to the glucometer, making option A the correct answer. In this sentence, the action being described is achieved through administering vaccines, which stimulate the immune system. So, this refers to the action of administering vaccines to stimulate immunity, and prevent the spread of infectious diseases, making option C, vaccination the correct answer. In this context, this refers to the observations made during the autopsy, which include the enlarged left ventricle, irregular electrical activity, and significant scarring. These observations collectively suggest a history of myocardial infarction. Therefore, the correct referent for this is the entirety of the observations made during the autopsy, not just one specific abnormality. Therefore, the answer is option A, the autopsy. Those refers to the closest preceding noun phrase that describes something concerning Dr. Reyes. While all the options are technically related to the moles, Dr. Reyes is specifically recommending further examination of the moles, with the irregular borders. This highlights the importance of using context clues to identify the pronoun referent. The answer is option D, irregular borders. Explanation. In this passage, the pronoun there is used to refer to something that the participants possess or are associated with. Given the context of the passage, the most logical referent for there is chronic migraines. The participants are experiencing varying degrees of pain relief in relation to their chronic migraines, indicating that the improvement or lack thereof is directly related to the symptoms of their condition. Therefore, option C, the chronic migraines is the correct answer.